Hey, I'm Storm Myers, and this is What Happens When. This podcast is about the moments that quietly change us. And I don't mean the big dramatic ones. I mean the subtle ones that quietly shift how we see ourselves. I started this podcast because I noticed I wasn't feeling the same, and I didn't know how to explain it. For me, there was a few different things happening at the same time, and they stacked up more than I realized. I lost my dad at 23, which now would be 10 years ago. I became a father 5 years later, and both of those things combined to create this pressure that I needed to become responsible for my health. And that's what I did. I'm here to help people who are stuck in that moment and want more. I realize that everyone has a different version of that moment, and it shows up differently at the gym or at work or even within my family. Most of us don't slow down long enough to name what we're carrying. I know I surely didn't. For many years, all I did was move on to the next moment or think about what is going to happen rather than reflecting on what did happen. And I went through some pretty traumatic things. I became aware of things needed to change, but it wasn't until I took action and that anything did change. When something has changed inside, most of us just keep going. And it's not that we're ignoring it, it's just we don't know how to handle it. So in reference to losing my dad, I was functional. I had a job. I started a family. There were things that I could do that people could look right past me and not even think that I was struggling. But quietly, in my own mind, it felt the worst. I lacked clarity. I lacked language around what I was feeling. Granted, therapy was helpful by looking at the past in sequence and realizing a few things. In essence, I wasn't able to share that with anybody who were close to me because they didn't know how to handle so much. And I couldn't take what I had in my head and boil it down to a simple sentence that people could understand. This won't be one conversation because life isn't just a typical one experience. I would like to share some of my experiences and reflections in grief and fatherhood and partnership, love. I'm looking forward to having conversations with friends, family, and anybody that's in that shift from who they were to something bigger and better for themselves and the rest of the world. So this is for people who are doing life and who know they have shifted from who they were and want to become something else. So if you ever thought, I'm doing okay, but there's something more, become part of a community that can push forward together. To do that is better than doing it alone. And that's what I did for the last 10 years, and it didn't work out. You don't need to label your experience to belong here. Also, not a space to rush past it, because part of me feeling emotional or creating a space where I can talk about my grief, I easily shut down when I feel rushed or there's something else to get to. I'm not going to share those moments that surround my heart if I feel like there's not enough time. Because if I'm willing to open that, it's not a quick, here you go, and let's go to a game or something like that. So you just need a place that you don't have to rush past it. And that's here. This is What Happens When, and I'm Storm Myers.